My child, open your heart and listen carefully, for what I am about to declare is not simply a set of words meant to bring comfort for a fleeting moment, nor is it a poetic thought that passes through like the wind. It is a proclamation that has been prepared long before you even realized what was taking place around you. While you thought life was moving in quiet and ordinary ways, while you imagined that the days were nothing more than sequences of common events, something greater was unfolding in the unseen. In the dimension of the spirit, there was a stirring, a movement beyond human recognition. What the natural eyes could not detect and what the human ears could not perceive was being shaken with an intensity deeper than you could ever have imagined. And in that very place, unseen yet more real than all visible things, forces of darkness and forces of light stood in direct confrontation. They did not contend with visible weapons, nor did they clash with swords and shields made by men, but they contended with powers and authorities that belong only to my kingdom. You, my child, did not realize it, but your very life, your mind, your heart, and even your future were at the very center of this confrontation. I did not leave you alone in the midst of it. I, myself, stepped into the battlefield. I arose like a king, rising to defend his people, standing as a shield before you, protecting the inheritance that I, myself, have entrusted to you. You must understand this. No battle that occurs in the spiritual realm is ever random or accidental. Nothing happens by chance in this dimension that governs all things visible. Every arrow that is loosed, every shield that is lifted, is not merely an action without meaning, but is the outcome of words already spoken, decrees already released, and choices already made in the hidden chambers of eternity. Over the past seasons of your journey, you have felt invisible pressures bearing down on your soul. You have faced obstacles that looked like impenetrable walls on the road before you. To your natural mind, they seemed like ordinary frustrations, the daily inconveniences of life, the disappointments that everyone endures. But in truth, they were not ordinary at all. They were structures erected by powers that opposed you. They were strongholds, carefully designed to block your way, to keep you from stepping into the fullness of what I have already appointed. They attempted to rob your peace, to suffocate your hope, and to cloud the vision I entrusted to you. But know this, my child, their authority is not absolute. Their power is limited. And when I stretch forth my hand, when I release my decree, every scheme collapses into dust. The moment I intervened, the unseen realms trembled. The ground in that hidden dimension shook, and the chains that had been wrapped tightly around your hands and your feet fell powerless. They lost the grip they once claimed to have. The doors that had been locked against you for so long, doors that you thought would never open, doors that seemed sealed by an eternal decree, swung open at my command. These were not small doors leading to trivial matters, but the doors that open into new life, into wholeness, into destiny. And the hands that had once pulled you backward, the forces that tried to drag you into the past, were struck down and removed from your path. My word went forth like a sword of light cutting through every chain. Though with natural sight, you may not yet fully see the change. Though the evidence around you may not yet match what is happening within, I tell you the truth, the situation has already shifted entirely. The course of your life has already been redirected. Just as on the very first morning of creation, when I spoke, "Let there be light," and immediately the darkness fled from my presence. So now I have spoken a new decree over you. My voice has gone forth into your story. and everything that opposed it has crumbled. My word never returns void. It always accomplishes the purpose for which I send it. And so you will see its fruit, not in vague dreams, not in abstract hopes, but in tangible, undeniable realities that no one will be able to deny. Therefore, my child, do not let your heart be shaken when you still see shadows of the old season lingering around you. Do not fear when fragments of yesterday try to convince you that nothing has changed. The season of hindrance has ended, and a season of release has opened before you. You have stood faithfully through hours that felt hopeless, through nights when no answer seemed to come. You chose to trust me even when you could not see the way forward. Every tear that fell from your eyes I have gathered. Every whispered prayer spoken in silence I have heard. Even the smallest measure of your faith, faith as tiny as a mustard seed, has been enough to move the armies of heaven into motion for you. The perseverance you showed, even when trembling, has been a shield that the enemy could not pierce. Nothing has gone unnoticed before me. I have seen every moment when you chose truth over convenience. Every time you turned away from the easier path because it would lead you away from me. Every instant when you clung to my promise, though the world around you seemed to crumble. These choices have not been forgotten. They have been recorded in eternity as testimonies of your love for me. And now, what once confused your mind, what once unsettled your heart, what once stole your peace, I have lifted away. I have stepped between you and danger like an impenetrable wall. The plots of darkness that sought to sabotage my plan for you have been halted at their very source. Where once you were vulnerable, now you are surrounded by the security of my presence. Where once you were trapped in the cycle of recurring disappointment, now you have been set free into a new atmosphere. And understand this, the freedom you now step into is not merely the absence of problems. It is the transformation of the environment around you. It is the rewriting of the narrative of your life. You will not only walk out of old chains, but you will walk into a landscape that has been reshaped by my decree. This, my child, is the reality you are entering. It is not imagination. It is not wishful thinking, but a reality already established in the unseen, waiting to manifest before your eyes. My child, you have walked through valleys that seemed endless, corridors that appeared to repeat themselves in cycles of futility. Again and again, you approached doors that seemed new, only to discover they led you back into old places of frustration, into memories you longed to escape, into struggles you thought you had already overcome. Each attempt began with hope, but too often ended with the same heaviness, the same disappointment, the same sense that you were running in circles. In those moments, your heart cried out, "Why does this keep happening? Why do I find myself here again?" I heard those cries. Not once, but countless times. I listened to them as they rose up from the depths of your exhaustion, wrapped in the weight of shame, covered by the dust of weariness. You thought no one noticed. You thought your questions vanished into silence. But my child, I tell you, heaven itself leaned in to hear every whisper of your pain. What you did not see in those repeated cycles was the deeper truth behind them. You thought it was about your weakness, about your failures, about your inability to overcome. But I tell you now, it was never about that. Those patterns were signals, alarms in the spirit meant to awaken you to something hidden beneath the surface. They revealed that there were chains not yet broken, entanglements deeper than behavior, roots that reached into places words could not name. These were not simply bad choices repeating themselves. They were strongholds built layer upon layer, structures designed to entrap you. And though you fought them with your strength, though you tried to tear them down with willpower, you discovered that human effort could not overcome them. That is why you felt exhausted, why your hope drained so quickly. Because this was never a battle of flesh and blood, but a battle in the unseen. The entanglements were spiritual, and only divine intervention could sever them completely. And so, my child, I stepped in, not because you finally became strong enough, not because you earned it with your endurance, but because my love refused to leave you bound. At the moment when your strength failed, at the instant when your knees buckled beneath the weight, I moved on your behalf. You thought collapse meant the end, but it was the signal that reached my throne. When you whispered, "I cannot go any further," heaven responded immediately. I dispatched help. I released decrees that overturned every scheme against you. You see, what the enemy hoped to use as a final blow, I have turned into the very moment of your deliverance. What looked like defeat became the doorway for my intervention. Just as the Red Sea parted for Israel when there was no way forward, so I have split the waters before you. Just as Daniel's mouth was preserved in the lion's den, so I have silenced the voices that roared against you. Just as the fourth man appeared with the three in the fire, so I myself have stood beside you in the flames, ensuring not even the smell of smoke would cling to you. Do not mistake this intervention as a temporary relief or a fleeting visit of my presence. This is not one of those brief moments you once experienced, where hope flickered for an instant only to fade again. No, this is different. This is not the surface touch that soothes for a moment. This is a deep, holy interruption, a shift that will not reverse. I have not come to sprinkle comfort like drops of rain that evaporate when the sun rises. I have come to alter the very atmosphere around you. I have come to rewrite the script that once confined you. Where the enemy wrote endings of despair, I am writing beginnings of promise. Where he tried to mark you with labels of shame, I am clothing you with garments of honor. Where he whispered lies that you were forgotten, I am declaring publicly that you are chosen, remembered, and deeply loved. My child, the unseen hand of my spirit has already pushed aside obstacles you thought immovable. The invisible walls are already crumbling. The cycle that once repeated itself endlessly has been broken by my word. You may still see fragments lying around. You may still feel echoes of the old season trying to call you back. But hear me, those echoes have no authority. They are shadows of a night that is already past. The dawn has broken, and with it comes clarity, vision, and hope that cannot be extinguished. I am restoring your ability to believe again, not in fragile wishes that shatter at the first sign of trouble, but in a confidence that rests on who I am, for I am faithful. And what I begin, I always bring to completion. I have never abandoned one word I have spoken, nor have I failed in a single promise. You, too, will see the fulfillment of every decree I have placed upon your life. Therefore, lift your head. Do not let despair bow you down any longer. Let courage rise again in your heart. You are not walking into another cycle of disappointment. You are stepping into a season of restoration. The shame of yesterday will not define you. The scars of your journey will not disqualify you. Instead, they will shine as testimonies of my grace. The very wounds that once made you hide will become the very places from which light pours out. You will discover that what was meant to bury you has become the soil from which new life grows. You will see that the delays were not denials. But, divine redirection, positioning you for a timing greater than your imagination. And when you walk into the fullness of this season, those who doubted, those who assumed you were finished, will witness with their own eyes what I can do when I step into a story. My child, what I am doing in your life now is not hidden from the heavens, nor is it a minor adjustment. It is a holy unveiling. The real story is not what others assumed about you, not what was whispered behind closed doors, not the judgment spoken with confidence by those who never sought my counsel. The true story is what I, the Lord of hosts, am releasing through your life in this very hour. In front of those who thought your chapter was finished, I am beginning a new volume. Before the eyes of those who predicted your downfall, I am lifting you up in strength. This moment is not about their agenda, it is about mine. I am revealing my purposes, and no human hand can cancel what I have decreed. No hidden contract, no secret agreement, no whispered conspiracy can override the authority of my voice. For when I speak, creation bends to obey. When I decree, no one can reverse it. As it is written, I am God, and there is no other. I declare the end from the beginning, and from ancient times what is still to come. My purpose will stand, and I will do all that I please. Isaiah 4:6-9-10. Child, understand that I have already begun to dismantle the structures that stood against you. I have overturned verdicts spoken without my permission. I have silenced voices that tried to exalt themselves above my truth. What seemed sealed has been broken open. What seemed permanent has been reversed. My intervention has gone forth backed by the full weight of heaven's authority. No court of man can overrule it. No counsel of darkness can undo it. I have stepped in not as a silent observer, but as the commander of angel armies. I am not standing at a distance, waiting to see how events unfold. I am in the very center of the scene, directing outcomes, shifting balances, uprooting lies, and planting truth. The storm you feel around you is not chaos without purpose. It is the stirring of a divine storm, a storm that is clearing the ground, a storm that is removing what cannot remain, so that what I have ordained may stand firm. Do not fear the shaking. Do not fear the noise of systems collapsing. For what is being dismantled is not your foundation. It is the false structures that tried to bind you. When you see power flipped, when you hear voices silenced, when you watch doors close, know this: it is not loss. It is protection. I am removing what was never meant to carry you. I am cutting away what would have hindered the blessing I am about to pour out. You are not standing in the ruins of destruction. You are standing in the clearing of preparation. Just as a farmer clears the ground before planting, so I am clearing your life of clutter, lies, and weights that cannot journey with you into this next season. My child, what you called failure was actually foundation. What you called delay was actually alignment. What you called loss was actually pruning. And now, the pruning will give way to fruit beyond what you imagined. Lift your eyes beyond the present storm. The winds may be fierce. The waves may crash. But remember, I am the one who commands the winds and waves. And when I say peace, be still, they must obey. I have not brought you into this shaking to harm you. I have brought you into it to free you. For too long, false voices spoke over your life. Voices that did not come from me. They said you were finished. They said you were too broken. They said you had missed your moment. But I am silencing those voices now. I am rewriting the narrative. I am declaring over you, you are not forsaken. You are not disqualified. You are not abandoned. You are mine. And my plans for you are still alive. For I know the plans I have for you, plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you hope and a future. Jeremiah 2:9-11. That promise is not expired. It is unfolding in this very hour. My child, even now the seeds I planted long ago are breaking through the soil. What lay hidden for years is sprouting into sight. Do not despise small beginnings, for the tender shoots will become mighty trees. Do not judge by what your eyes see in this moment, for I am working beyond what sight can comprehend. Trust my timing. Trust my hand, for I am orchestrating connections, aligning resources, shifting people into place, all so that when the doors swing open, you will walk through with confidence. The detours, the delays, the disappointments were never wasted. They were weaving a greater story, one you could not see from the valley, but one that will shine clear from the mountaintop. Every tear, every cry, every prayer whispered in exhaustion has become part of the testimony I am about to unveil. And this testimony will not only strengthen you, it will awaken hope in others who are watching. So, my beloved, do not shrink back. Do not fear that what I am doing will be undone. This work is sealed by my hand, and what I seal, no one can break. This is not a fleeting moment. This is not another fragile cycle. This is establishment. This is breakthrough. This is destiny converging with time. You are standing in the eye of a divine storm. Yes, but you are not alone in it. I am here, and in the very heart of this storm, my glory is being revealed. What others will see as chaos, you will see as birth. For I am birthing something new through you, something that will outlast the storm, something that will carry my name into places you have never stepped before. Trust me, my child. The story is not over. In fact, it is just beginning. My beloved child, as the storm begins to clear, you must understand that what I am leading you into is not simply recovery but renewal. You are not being placed back where you once stood. You are being established in a higher place, a place secured by my covenant and not by human approval. Many have tried to define your story by the moments of collapse, but I am defining it by the power of resurrection. Others looked at the ashes and assumed the fire had consumed you completely. But I declare that beauty will rise from those ashes. Do not measure your future by the fragments of your past, for I am the God who makes all things new. As it is written, therefore, if anyone is in Christ, the new creation has come, the old has gone. The new is here. 2 Corinthians 5:1-7. This is not theory. This is your reality unfolding now. Child, your journey has been unconventional because my calling upon you is not ordinary. You are not designed to fit into the molds that people tried to press upon you. That is why the paths you took seemed delayed, rerouted, or misunderstood. Every detour was not a punishment but a preparation. Every closed door was not rejection but redirection. Every delay was not wasted time but divine alignment. The world measures progress by speed and visibility, but I measure it by depth and foundation. I have not been building a shallow structure in your life. I have been digging deep wells that can hold living water for many. I did not allow you to skip your process because I needed you to carry authenticity, not performance. I have been shaping you not for temporary applause, but for eternal impact. And that is why the weight has felt heavy, for the vessel I am forming must carry more than you ever imagined. Do not despise the weight. My child, the weight of waiting, the weight of questions, the weight of hidden seasons, it was all forging strength within you. Others may have overlooked you, misunderstood you, or dismissed you, but I never did. I have been watching every step, preserving every breath, noting every tear. I did not allow the fire to consume you, only to refine you. And the refinement was not to break you, but to release the pure gold within you. The authenticity you now carry is rare, and it is what will set you apart. You do not need to compete for platforms or chase recognition. For those who truly carry my presence do not need to advertise it. It will be evident. When you enter a room, it will not be your eloquence that shifts the atmosphere, but my presence flowing through you. This is why I say to you again, do not be afraid of what others think. Do not measure yourself by their standards. And do not allow the scars of misunderstanding to silence your voice. The scars themselves are part of the testimony. You see, my child, I have preserved your story not for your shame, but for my glory. The nights you wrestled with despair, the moments you questioned your worth, the days you felt invisible, none of it was wasted. I knew that you would not need theories, you would need truth wrapped in flesh. And so, I have been preparing you not only to receive healing, but to become a vessel through which healing flows to others. You will remind others of their worth without speaking a word. Simply by the way, my light shines through your life. You will create space for others to breathe again. Because you yourself have learned that true healing cannot flourish in suffocating environments. You will not offer shallow comfort, but deep restoration. Because you have walked through the valley and emerged with me. And make no mistake, what is happening now is not a temporary high or a fleeting relief. This is not just about feeling better for a moment. This is repair. This is restoration. This is recreation. I did not preserve you merely to survive. I preserved you to thrive. I am not just giving you relief from pain. I am making you whole again. The enemy hoped you would settle for numbness, but I am awakening joy. The enemy tried to convince you to live in resignation, but I am reviving hope. My child, what you thought was the end has become the stage for new beginnings. And those who watch your life will see not your strength, but my faithfulness. They will say, surely the Lord has done this, and their faith will rise. Lift your head. Beloved, do not brace yourself for disappointment anymore. Stop rehearsing the voice that whispers, it will not last. For this time it is different. This is not a fleeting visitation. This is not a fragile flame destined to burn out. This is permanence. This is establishment. I am planting you by streams of living water, and your leaves will not wither. In season and out of season, you will bear fruit because your roots go deep in me. Psalm 1:3. I am making you unshakable, not because life will never test you again, but because now you know the foundation on which you stand, and that foundation is not human approval, not fragile circumstances, not temporary comfort. It is me, your everlasting rock. So walk forward with confidence. My child, not arrogance, but holy assurance. The assurance that I, who began this work in you, will carry it to completion. Philippians 1:6. The assurance that my covenant is stronger than your fear. My purpose is greater than your doubts. And my presence will never leave you. You do not need to strive to make this happen. You simply need to trust and obey. For covenant moves faster than comfort, and destiny is unfolding even now. The story is being rewritten, not by the hands of those who misunderstood you, but by the author of life himself. And I, your God, never write unfinished stories. My child, do you see now why the journey has required endurance? Do you understand why I did not allow the process to be rushed? You often prayed for speed, for shortcuts, for the pain to end quickly. But I, in my wisdom, knew that a fast escape would leave you fragile, while a slow restoration would make you strong. I was not ignoring your cries. I was answering them in a way that would outlast the moment. For every hidden corner of your soul, every wound you buried too deep for language to reach, I was walking you through them one by one, layer by layer. I have been restoring you. I never desired a surface healing. I have always been after wholeness. I am the God who completes what I begin, and I am not finished until you are fully renewed. You must understand, child, that healing is not a single event but a sacred journey. I have allowed you to walk through valleys not because I enjoy your pain, but because I wanted you to know me as the shepherd who never abandons. I wanted you to see that even in the shadow of death, you lacked nothing because I was with you. Psalm 2:3-4. Every shadow only proved the reality of my light. Every battle only highlighted the certainty of my victory. You were never alone. Though the silence sometimes convinced you otherwise, my presence was nearer than your breath, guarding, guiding, sustaining you in ways you did not always perceive. Beloved, the authenticity you now carry cannot be replicated by those who have avoided the fire. That is why I would not allow you to fast-track your journey. I knew that others would need the real you, the you who has wept, wrestled, waited, and still found me faithful. I knew that others would not be healed by rehearsed phrases or shallow optimism, but by truth embodied in your scars. That is why I preserved your story, not for shame, but for redemption. For I knew the day would come when your testimony would breathe life into those who thought they were beyond repair. You will not have to convince them with arguments. Your very existence will be proof of my mercy. Your scars will speak louder than sermons. Do not fear the memory of your wounds. Do not hide from the seasons of weakness. For in your weakness, my strength has been made perfect. 2 Corinthians 1:2-9. What once felt like failure has become the fertile soil of compassion. What once felt like loss has become the birthplace of wisdom. You now carry a tenderness that no book could teach, a discernment that no classroom could impart. Because you have been misunderstood, you will recognize the lonely. Because you have been overlooked, you will honor the unseen. Because you have waited, you will walk with patience toward those still waiting. Nothing has been wasted. My child, every ache has been transformed into authority, every tear into testimony, every silence into a song of hope. You asked me why others seemed to progress while you stood still. You questioned why doors opened for them, but remained closed for you. You wondered if I had forgotten. Hear me clearly, I never forgot. I was not withholding, I was protecting. I was not neglecting, I was nurturing. Had I allowed certain doors to open before the time, they would have crushed you. Had I placed you in positions without the depth I was forming in you, you would have been overwhelmed. What felt like delay was actually divine acceleration, hidden in disguise. For now, when I open doors, no man will be able to shut them. Revelation 3:8. And when I establish you, it will not be fragile, it will be unshakable. Child, when you step forward now, do not carry the posture of survival but of victory. You are not crawling out of the ashes, you are rising crowned with glory. You are not limping into the future, you are marching with strength. You are not a victim of your story, you are a vessel of my glory. Do not let the enemy trick you into living as though you are still bound. The chains have already been broken. The prison doors have already swung open. The sentence has already been overturned. You are free because the Son has set you free. And whom the Son sets free is free indeed, John 8:3-6. Stand tall in that freedom. Walk boldly in that truth. Let the sound of liberty ring louder than the whispers of fear. And yet, even in your freedom, never forget your dependence on me. For the freedom I give is not independence from my presence, but deeper intimacy with it. Apart from me, you can do nothing. John 1:5-5. But with me, nothing is impossible. Luke 1:3-7. Do not confuse strength with self-sufficiency. True strength is not standing apart from me, but standing firmly in me. As you walk forward, keep your ear tuned to my whisper, your heart anchored in my word, your spirit yielded to my leading. This is not about running ahead in your own wisdom, but walking in step with my spirit. For where my spirit is, there is freedom. 2 Corinthians 3:1-7. My beloved, the days ahead will not be free of challenges, but they will be filled with my presence. You will encounter resistance, but you will also encounter grace. You will face obstacles, but you will also witness miracles. You will see the schemes of the enemy, but you will also see the triumph of the cross. Remember always, the battle is not yours, but mine. 2 Chronicles 2:0-1-5. Stand still and see the salvation of the Lord. Do not be moved by what you see. Be anchored by what I have spoken. Heaven and earth may pass away, but my word will never pass away. Matthew 2:4-3-5. Hold fast to that, and you will not be shaken. Sorize, child, with renewed courage, step forward with a heart unafraid. The season of hiding is over. The time of unveiling has come. I am sending you not as a fragile survivor, but as a carrier of restoration. You will not speak theories. You will release truths. You will not offer borrowed wisdom. You will pour out lived testimony. And through you, others will know that I am still the God who heals, still the God who delivers, still the God who raises the dead to life. Your very existence will be a sign that my covenant endures, that my mercy never ends, that my promises are yes and amen. Walk, beloved, in this truth, for this is not the end, but the beginning of a new chapter written by my hand. My beloved child, the hour has come for you to recognize that what I have done in secret was never meant to stay hidden. The layers of healing I carefully wove into your being were not only for your survival, but for your calling. I did not restore you in fragments, but in fullness, because I intend to send you as a testimony of my faithfulness. The world has enough voices of theory. What it needs is a living witness. That is why I allowed you to taste sorrow, yet not be consumed, to endure storms, yet not drown, to walk through fire, yet not be burned. Your scars are not signs of defeat, but evidence of my preservation. They declare to all who see them, this one was held by God. Understand this? Child, the story I am writing in you carries weight beyond what you can measure. Do not belittle what you have endured. Do not dismiss the nights you thought were wasted. For in those very nights I was chiseling strength into your spirit. Do not regret the tears you thought fell unnoticed. For every tear has been collected in my bottle, Psalm 5:6-8. Do not despise the seasons of stillness, for they were seasons of sanctification. While others raced ahead in pursuit of recognition, I set you apart to know my heartbeat. I marked you in the quiet so that when you step into the light, you will not be shaken by applause, nor destroyed by criticism. Your roots run too deep for shallow winds to uproot. Child, I am not only restoring what was lost, I am multiplying. The locusts devoured much, but I am the Lord who restores the years the locusts have eaten. Joel 2:5. You thought some seasons were gone forever, but I redeemed time. What seemed like delay was in fact divine preparation. And now I am bringing forth fruit in abundance. Do not measure your future by your past pace. Do not assume that progress must take as long as pain did. When I breathe upon you, acceleration comes. When I release my word, harvest breaks forth. What once seemed barren will burst into life. Where there was mourning, there will be dancing. Where there was ashes, there will be beauty. Where there was despair, there will be praise. And yet, child, know this, the abundance I give is not merely for your enjoyment, but for my purposes. I bless you to be a blessing. Genesis 1:2-2. I heal you so you can become a vessel of healing. I comfort you so you can comfort others. 2 Corinthians 1:4. I raise you not only to stand tall, but to lift others who are bowed down. This is not about building a life of ease, but about building a legacy of faith. The gifts I pour into your hands are not ornaments, but instruments. They are not meant to decorate your story, but to demonstrate my glory. Do not hoard what I give you. Release it. Do not hide what I place in you. Shine it. For a lamp was never meant to be hidden under a bowl, but placed on a stand to give light to everyone in the house. Matthew 5:1-5. You will be tempted, child, to believe that you are unworthy to carry such a calling. You will hear whispers that say, you are too broken, too late, too flawed. But I tell you, I have chosen the foolish things of the world to shame the wise, the weak things to shame the strong one. Corinthians 1:7. You were never chosen for your perfection, but for my presence. Do not disqualify yourself when I have already qualified you. Do not shrink back when I have already anointed you. The same hand that healed you will uphold you. The same Spirit that raised Christ from the dead now lives in you. Romans 8:1-1. Do not fear failure, for my grace is sufficient. Do not fear rejection, for I have already accepted you. My child, there is an urgency upon this hour. The world groans for hope, and you carry it. People wander in darkness, and you carry the light. Chains bind hearts, and you carry the key. Do not delay obedience. Do not postpone surrender. What I am doing through you is not casual but covenantal. I am aligning nations, shifting atmospheres, orchestrating divine appointments. Every step you take in obedience unlocks more than you know. Every word you speak in faith ripples farther than you imagine. The enemy fears your obedience more than your strength, because obedience is the doorway through which my power flows. Do not hesitate. Beloved, the time is now. Remember always that you are not sent to perform but to abide. The world does not need a performer, it needs a vessel. Do not strive to impress, simply remain in me. And fruit will naturally follow. John 1:5-4-5. You do not need to manufacture results, my Spirit produces them. You do not need to create opportunities, I open the doors. You do not need to force connections, I align relationships. Your only task is to stay yielded, to keep your heart soft, to remain attentive to my whisper. As you though, you will find that burdens lift, clarity comes, and strength flows. For my yoke is easy, and my burden is light. Matthew 1:1-30. Child, let this truth anchor you what I have begun. I will finish. Philippians 1:6. I am not a man that I should lie, nor a son of man that I should change my mind. Numbers 2:3-1-9. If I have spoken it, I will perform it. If I have promised it, I will fulfill it. You may not see how, but you will see it done. You may not know when, but you can rest in the certainty that it will come. Do not let the temporary shadows blind you to eternal promises. Do not let present pain silence future joy. For though the vision tarries, wait for it, it will surely come. It will not delay. Habakkuk 2:3. So rise with courage. My beloved, step boldly into what I have prepared. The healing I placed within you is not fragile, it is fortified. The calling upon you is not wavering, it is sealed. The path before you is not random, it is divine. And as you walk, you will see signs of my presence, tokens of my covenant, whispers of my faithfulness. You will know beyond doubt that I, the Lord your God, I am with you wherever you go. Joshua 1:9. This is not a fleeting visitation. This is not a temporary relief. This is a permanent indwelling of my Spirit, a continual unfolding of my plan, a never-ending display of my glory through your life. Go, child, for the world is waiting, and I am with you always, even to the end of the age. Matthew 2:8-20. My precious child, I have watched you walk the same corridors too many times, opening doors that looked new but only led you back to old places. You thought you were advancing, but the patterns kept repeating, and your heart grew weary of the cycle. You cried out, "Why does this keep happening? Why do I end up here again?" And I heard your cry. Not once, not twice, but every single time, like an echo of desperation wrapped in shame and exhaustion. Yet, child, hear me now. These cycles were not signs of your failure. They were signals of a deeper entanglement that could only be broken by my divine intervention. You were never meant to stay bound. You were never designed to be trapped in endless repetition. The cross was not given for you to circle the same wilderness forever. The cross was given to break chains and lead you into freedom. Understand? Child, the enemy has been subtle in weaving snares around your path. He disguised repetition as familiarity, hoping you would confuse captivity with comfort. He whispered, "This is just who you are. This is your destiny." But I, the Lord, declare differently. You are not a prisoner of your past. You are not chained to the mistakes you made or the disappointments you endured. You are not condemned to wander forever in deserts of frustration. I led my people out of Egypt with a mighty hand and an outstretched arm, and I will lead you out of every entanglement that has bound you. Exodus 1:3-1-4. Do not believe the lie that says bondage is permanent. My spirit breaks yokes. My word shatters walls. My presence drives out darkness. What once felt unshakable will tremble at my name. What once seemed immovable will crumble when I speak. Child, when you look back, you will realize that even in the cycles, I was present. When you fell again into the same pit, my hand reached lower than your fall. When shame whispered louder than grace, my blood spoke louder still. When despair told you to quit, my spirit whispered, stand up again. I never abandoned you in those repeated valleys. I never mocked you for stumbling. I never withdrew my mercy. Eichzikle, though painful, was not wasted. They revealed to you the depths of your need for me. They stripped you of self-reliance so you would learn to cling to me with everything you are. For apart from me you can do nothing, John 1:5-5. But in me, nothing is impossible. Child, cycles break, not by your striving, but by your surrender. The more you fought with your own strength, the deeper the frustration grew. But the moment you whisper, Lord, I cannot do this alone, heaven moves. The moment you raise empty hands instead of clenched fists, deliverance flows. Do you not see I have not called you to exhaust yourself with endless trying? I have called you to trust. The Israelites walked around Jericho not with battering rams but with obedience. And the walls fell. Joshua 6:2-0. So too, the walls before you will not crumble by human effort but by divine power. I am teaching you the secret victory is not earned, it is received. Breakthrough is not manufactured, it is inherited. Freedom is not a reward for perfection, but a gift of grace. Now, beloved, I am leading you into new pathways. Do not fear the unknown, for I walk before you. Do not cling to the familiar, for it has held you captive. Step out when I say step, even if your feet tremble. Trust that I have gone ahead to prepare the way. Deuteronomy 3:1-8. The wilderness taught you survival, but Canaan will teach you abundance. The cycles taught you dependence, but freedom will teach you destiny. You are not returning to the old, you are advancing into the new. Old doors are closing, new gates are opening. The chains that clinked in secret are breaking in public. Those who thought you would never rise will see you stand, and they will know this is the doing of the Lord, and it is marvelous in their eyes. Psalm 1:1-8-3. Child, take courage. Do not fear the scars you carry. They are not proof of weakness, but proof of survival. Do not despise the repetitions you endured. They were training grounds for discernment. Now you will recognize traps more quickly. Now you will sense lies more sharply. Now you will see through facades more clearly. You will not be fooled again. For wisdom has been etched into your spirit through trial. What once ensnared you will no longer have power. What once deceived you will no longer blind you. For I am opening your eyes, sharpening your vision, giving you clarity that confusion cannot cloud. You will see paths the enemy hoped you would overlook. You will hear my whisper even in the storm. You will discern my direction even in the noise. No longer will you wander aimlessly. You will walk with purpose, guided by my Spirit. And child, let me remind you, your story is not ending in cycles, but in freedom. Your testimony will not be one of endless repetition, but of glorious redemption. You will not say, I was trapped forever, but you will declare, the Lord delivered me. and now I live free. Others who are still caught in their own repetitions will hear your story and find hope. They will see in you a reflection of their struggle, but also a revelation of my power. They will say, if God could do it for them, He can do it for me. And they will be right. For I am no respecter of persons. Acts 1:0-3-4. The same grace that lifted you will lift them. The same power that broke your chains will shatter theirs. Your life will be a lighthouse for the bound, a signpost for the wandering, a testimony that the God who saves still saves. So stand firm, child. Lift your head. Shake off the shame. The cycle has lost its hold. The pit has lost its grip. The prison door is swinging open. Walk out with boldness. For whom the Son sets free is free indeed. John 8:3-6. This freedom is not temporary, it is eternal. This liberty is not fragile, it is unshakable. No scheme of hell can reverse what I have decreed. No accusation can undo what my blood has sealed. You are free, beloved, and your freedom is the beginning of a new chapter, one where cycles are broken, chains are shattered, and destiny unfolds. Go forward now, for I am with you, and I will never leave you nor forsake you. My child, you have carried burdens heavier than anyone could see, and you have learned to hide the weight beneath smiles and gestures of strength. But I am the God who sees beyond appearances, and I know the hidden cries of your heart. I know how often you went to bed weary, replaying failures in your mind, wondering if tomorrow would be any different. I know how shame tried to silence your prayers, how exhaustion whispered that hope was pointless. Yet here you are, still reaching, still searching, still longing for me. Do you not see? The very fact that you are still standing is proof of my sustaining hand. You did not keep yourself alive. I preserved you. You did not hold yourself together. My Spirit held you when you were too weak to rise. And now, child, I declare to you the long night is ending, and a dawn of renewal is breaking over your life. The atmosphere around you is shifting because I am stepping into your story in a new dimension. For years, you felt as though low ceilings hemmed you in, suffocating your spirit, leaving no room to breathe. But I am tearing those ceilings away. You will stand under open skies again. You will breathe freely again. You will feel space in your soul where tightness once constricted you. This is not imagination. It is my Spirit releasing fresh wind over your life. Just as I breathed into Adam's nostrils and he became a living soul, Genesis 2:7, I am breathing new life into you. What was dormant will awaken. What was weary will be refreshed. What was broken will be restored. This is not a temporary relief. It is a permanent reordering of your atmosphere. You will walk differently because you will no longer walk beneath the weight of oppression. You will carry peace where once you carried heaviness. Child, do not fear the unfamiliar feeling of freedom. You have grown accustomed to struggle, and sometimes peace will feel strange, even uncomfortable at first. But trust this, I have not brought you into this space to tease you. I have not opened the heavens over you to withdraw them again. I am teaching you to live without the constant anticipation of disappointment. I am training your heart to accept joy as your portion, not sorrow. Too many times, you braced yourself for the next wave of loss, even while blessings were still unfolding. But this time it is different. This is not a fleeting visitation. This is not a fragile moment of reprieve. This is my covenant of restoration taking root in your life. What I begin, I finish. Philippians uncease. And I have begun a good work in you. You thought healing would come all at once, like a sudden burst of light that made everything perfect. But I heal in layers, with wisdom, with care, with precision. I peel away wounds slowly, restoring you piece by piece, so that the healing is lasting and authentic. Quick fixes cannot carry the weight of destiny, but deep restoration, layer by layer, forms a foundation that will not crack under pressure. This is what I am doing in you now. You will not be patched, you will be renewed. You will not be held together by temporary stitches, you will be rebuilt from the inside out. Every hidden place of pain, every silent corner of grief, every unspoken ache, I am touching them all. And my touch is not shallow. My hand goes deeper than language, deeper than memory, deeper than trauma, where even prayer felt too heavy. My spirit now moves with groans too deep for words. Romans 8:26. I am reaching places that human comfort could never reach. Child, lift your eyes and see how I am sending help into your life. Not in the form of saviors, for I alone am your savior, but in the form of companions who carry my presence. They have walked through valleys of their own, valleys where despair tried to swallow them whole. Yet I preserve them not for their fame, but for your healing. Their stories are not polished theories. They are testimonies scarred by fire, yet shining with my grace. They know what it is to bleed in silence, to wrestle with questions in the midnight hour. They know the sting of being overlooked and the ache of waiting for promises that seem delayed. And because they have endured with me, they carry authenticity that no book, no speech, no performance could manufacture. They are coming not to impress you, but to remind you of truth. Not to stand above you, but to walk beside you. Their loyalty will be louder than empty promises, and their presence will remind you of your worth without even needing to speak. And child, let me tell you plainly, this help I am sending is not casual, not accidental. I did not assign them to you for convenience, but for covenant. Covenant moves faster than comfort. What I am arranging is sacred, consecrated, sealed by my spirit. They will not come to suffocate you or control you, but to give you space to breathe. For true healing cannot happen in suffocating environments. True growth cannot bloom under manipulation. I will surround you with those who honor the pace of your process, who will not rush you, who will not diminish you. Their very presence will be evidence that I have seen every silent cry, every hidden wound, every long night of endurance. You will know that heaven has heard you, because their arrival will carry the fragrance of my presence. Beloved, the shift in atmosphere is also happening within you. Where lies once echoed, truth will now resound. Where fear once paralyzed, faith will now propel. Where despair once drained you, joy will now overflow. My spirit is doing an internal work that no circumstance can undo. You are learning to carry peace not as a fleeting feeling, but as a permanent state. You are learning to live with the awareness that I am Emmanuel, God with you, not in moments, but always. The storms may still rage outside, but inside you will carry a stillness the world cannot understand. Philippians 4:7. This is the inheritance of those who dwell in my presence. This is the fruit of those who have surrendered at my feet. So breathe deeply now. Child, the air is different because the atmosphere is different. The shadows are retreating. The fog is lifting. The walls are breaking. You will no longer live hunched beneath ceilings of limitation. You will no longer anticipate disaster at the doorstep of every blessing. You will no longer confuse captivity with destiny, for I am rewriting your environment. I am reordering your atmosphere, and I am renewing your spirit. This is what divine intervention looks like, not just changing situations, but transforming atmospheres. Not just altering outcomes, but restoring identities. Not just fixing problems, but making all things new. And, beloved, you are the one I have chosen to live in this newness. My child, you have asked me so many times, why does this keep happening? You walked through the same hallway too many times, opening doors that looked new but led to the same old places. You began with hope, but the end was familiar frustration. And in the quiet of your soul, you cried with exhaustion and shame, believing that somehow it was your failure that created these cycles. But hear me now, those cycles were not proof of your weakness. They were signals, alarms sounding in the spirit realm, revealing that there was a deeper entanglement at work, something unseen, something spiritual that required my divine intervention. You were never meant to stay trapped in loops of despair. You were never meant to live in repetition of pain. I've been waiting for the right time to break the pattern. And child, the time is now. Cycles are broken not by human willpower, but by divine authority. That is why your attempts to fix everything on your own felt futile. You patched holes, but the walls still leaked. You tried to speak affirmations, but your heart still trembled. You changed external circumstances, but the same root issue remained untouched. But now my hand has reached into the root system of your story. I am not trimming branches. I am uprooting weeds that have choked your destiny for too long. I am silencing voices that whispered failure over your life. I am dismantling agreements made in darkness, agreements you didn't even know were working against you. I am canceling contracts written in secrecy, words spoken with authority that never consulted me. And when I cancel, no one can reinstate. When I reverse, no one can override. When I decree freedom, no one can chain you again. Child, do you feel the trembling in the spirit? That is my hand shaking the systems that stood against you. I am flipping power structures, silencing false voice, exalting the ones the world rejected. You thought you were alone in that room, but when they shut the doors, I walked through the walls. When they tried to silence you, I spoke louder. When they declared endings over you, I was already writing new beginnings. You are not a casualty of their decisions. You are a testimony of my sovereignty. This is not about their agenda. This is about mine. Their plans cannot cancel my purposes. Their words cannot rewrite my promises. And now you stand in the eye of a divine storm, a storm not sent to destroy you, but to destroy the chains that bound you. You must understand the difference between behavior modification and true breakthrough. Behavior modification is when you adjust yourself to survive, but the root remains the same. Breakthrough, on the other hand, is when I sever the root so that the fruit changes permanently. This is not about training yourself to endure more cycles. This is about exiting the cycle altogether. I am pulling you out, not just helping you cope inside it. This is why the shaking feels so intense, because entire structures are collapsing. Entire atmospheres are shifting. It is not destruction, it is deliverance. You are not losing. You are being liberated. And when the helpers I send arrive, you will know them not by eloquence, but by presence. When they speak, it will feel as though I, myself, have stepped into the room because I have. Through them, you prayed for me to speak. And I am answering, not from a distance, not in a dream, but through voices refined for this very moment. Their words will not echo the noise of confusion around you. Their clarity will cut through the fog of doubt like a knife through mist. They will not need to raise their voice, because I have already raised their spirit. I have trained them not in applause, but in vision. Their eyes see past the surface, past the distortions of fear, past the lies that blurred your perspective. They will call you back to truth. They will call you back to me. Do not despise their simplicity, for I have not sent them to impress you, but to impart truth. They are not arriving with vague encouragements. They are coming with blueprints, spiritual designs that no one else could decipher. Their words will feel like keys slipping into locks you didn't even know were there. And suddenly, what you thought was sealed forever will begin to open. Doors long shut will creak with possibility. Chains long rusted will snap with freedom. They are not carrying generalized hope. They are carrying personalized rescue. Their presence in your life will not be coincidence. It will be covenant. Child, your spirit will recognize them before your mind can explain it. There will be a collision, a moment where inner chaos is confronted. Not harshly, but wholly. Their words will not command you. They will unlock you. Their prayers will not pressure you. They will lift you. Their vision will not control you. It will free you. For they are not heroes, but carriers of my healing. Every step they take toward you echoes my heartbeat. Yes, I am that close. My urgency has become their assignment. They obey without even knowing the full picture. But their obedience will unlock your revival. You asked for help, and I answered. You cried for deliverance, and I dispatched it. You pleaded for change, and I released it. Do not think this is about eloquence. It is about presence. My hand is on this moment, and what I release now cannot be undone by man. It is not a temporary high, not a fleeting relief. This is healing, not just comfort. This is breakthrough, not just survival. I have synchronized deliverance for you, tailored to your blueprint, woven with compassion, rooted in understanding. I am not here to rebuke your pain. I am here to redeem it. I am not here to correct your weakness. I am here to cover it with strength. And soon, you will not just feel better, you will be free. My beloved child, the story that is unfolding now is not the one they predicted. The real story is what I am about to release through your life in front of those who thought you were finished. This moment is not their unveiling, it is mine. You believed their declarations of finality carried weight, but only my word is eternal. I am now canceling contracts that were signed in secrecy, reversing outcomes that were declared without consulting me. Lies spoken with confidence are being exposed. Schemes crafted in darkness are being dismantled by light. What I decree cannot be overruled, for I stand as the judge of all creation, and my decision carries the authority of heaven itself. You must understand, child, this is not a mere shift in circumstances. This is a divine intervention. When I step into a scene, I do not come quietly as a passive witness. I come as the commander of angelic hosts, as the defender of the voiceless, as the judge whose word cannot be appealed. My presence shakes systems, topples power structures, silences false authorities, and lifts up the rejected. You thought you were voiceless in that closed room, but I was there. When they locked the doors, I walked through the walls. When they spoke over you, I spoke higher. When they declared you finished, I whispered, "It is only the beginning." For every word they used to push you down, I am now using as fuel to raise you up. This moment is holy because it is drenched in my authority. Do you feel the weight in the atmosphere? That is not heaviness, it is glory. The density of my presence pressing against every lie that tried to suffocate you. You may not see it with natural eyes, but in the spirit realm, entire chains are snapping. Entire prisons are shaking. Entire verdicts are being overturned. Just as I overturned the tables in the temple, I am overturning the tables that held contracts against your destiny. Just as I rolled away the stone from the tomb, I am rolling away stones that tried to keep your future buried. My resurrection power is not just a story of the past, it is a living force breaking into your present. Child, I know how many nights you cried, thinking the silence of heaven meant indifference. But silence was not absence. Silence was strategy. I was preparing a perfect moment, a divine collision where the fullness of my authority would meet the depth of your desperation. And now, at this exact intersection of time, I am releasing what no human hand can stop. You are not standing in chaos. You are standing in the eye of a storm I orchestrated. The winds you feel are not winds of destruction, but winds of deliverance. They are tearing down what enslaved you and clearing the way for what I am about to establish. You have been through seasons where promises seemed delayed, where prayers seemed unanswered, where breakthroughs felt just out of reach. But delay is not denial. In my kingdom, timing is everything. I do not release fruit before its appointed season. I do not send rain before the soil is ready. What you perceived as delay was me ensuring that when I move, no one could claim it was their hand that delivered you. I withheld until the moment when only heaven could take the credit. And now, as I stretch forth my hand, the atmosphere itself bears witness that this is divine. The change coming upon you will be undeniable. Do not fear the shaking, for the shaking is proof that foundations are being shifted. Old patterns cannot remain. Old agreements cannot survive. Old lies cannot linger. I am purging atmospheres, removing what corrupted the soil of your life. And as I cleanse, I also plant new seeds, divine seeds, seeds watered by my spirit that will grow into harvests unimaginable. This is not repair, this is rebirth. This is not survival, this is revival. You will not just walk away patched, you will walk away renewed. And what I am about to do will not remain hidden. I am unveiling it publicly, not for shame but for testimony. Those who whispered against you will have to watch the unveiling of my purpose. Those who mocked you will witness my glory rising upon you. Those who dismissed you will have no choice but to acknowledge the hand of God. For my intervention is not subtle. It comes with the sound of heaven, with the authority of eternity, with the brilliance of resurrection light, and it cannot be ignored. Therefore, child, lift your head. The days of shame are ending. The nights of silent tears are closing. The weight that crushed your chest is being lifted. Breathe again. Not with fear, but with freedom. Walk again. Not with trembling, but with confidence. Speak again. Not with hesitation, but with boldness. For I, the Lord your God, have stepped fully into your story. And where I step, nothing remains the same. The old cycles are gone. The old accusations are silenced. The old labels are burned away. You are rising, not by your own strength, but by the power of my Spirit. This is my promise to you, the unveiling of a new chapter. One written not with ink of men, but with the blood of covenant. The testimony of your life will not be about how strong you were, but about how faithful I am. The story others tried to write over you is being erased, and my narrative is taking its place. And no one, no system, no voice can rewrite what I am establishing now, for the pen is in my hand, and what I write cannot be undone. My beloved child, when I move, I do not simply shift the surface, I touch the root. I reach into the deepest layers of what once seemed untouchable, what you buried so long ago that you thought it would never be confronted. Those hidden wounds that shaped how you saw yourself, those old agreements you made with fear, those silent vows you whispered in despair, I am breaking them now. I am dismantling every hidden fortress that pain constructed within you. This is not cosmetic change. This is structural transformation. I am not patching walls. I am rebuilding foundations. You have lived long enough with labels that I never placed upon you. Words spoken in anger. Judgments cast without understanding. The silent conclusions you drew from your failures, all these became chains around your soul. But I did not design you to live in chains. I designed you for freedom. My Son declared, if the Son sets you free, you will be free indeed. This freedom is not theoretical, it is practical. It is the lifting of burdens, the breaking of cycles, the awakening of joy you thought was lost forever. I am restoring laughter where silence lived. I am planting courage where fear reigned. I am giving you peace that cannot be shaken by circumstance. Do not underestimate the depth of this moment. You thought you were merely surviving another season, but I have orchestrated the collapse of prisons you did not even know existed. You wondered why you kept revisiting the same patterns, why the same frustrations circled back again and again. Those were not random. They were signs of a deeper entanglement. But now my Spirit has descended like fire, consuming the ropes, shattering the cycles, and declaring over you, no more. What held you yesterday will not hold you tomorrow. What bound your parents will not bind you. What crippled generations before you will not cripple you. I am cutting the cords of generational oppression and releasing you into a new inheritance. Child, you will no longer look at yourself through the distorted lens of failure. I am giving you new eyes. Eyes to see yourself as I see you. Eyes to perceive the strength I placed within you before you were formed in your mother's womb. You are not fragile. You are fortified. You are not forgotten. You are chosen. You are not broken beyond repair. You are being remade with glory. My Spirit whispers to your soul, arise and shine, for your light has come, and the glory of the Lord rises upon you. This is not a distant prophecy. This is a present reality. The glory is rising now. You have prayed for revival. But did you know revival begins with you? Revival is not only the shaking of nations, it is the awakening of a single heart that says yes to my presence. You are that heart. And as you awaken, the atmosphere around you shifts. The places you enter will feel different because you carry my fragrance. The conversations you have will carry weight because you carry my truth. You will no longer enter rooms timidly, questioning your worth, but boldly, as one who knows they are sent. For I am sending you not as a spectator, but as a carrier of my light. Do not fear your new season. I know it feels unfamiliar. The door's opening. Now, do not resemble the doors you once knocked on. The opportunities coming do not look like the ones you thought you lost. But trust me, the detours were divine. The delays were strategic. I was not punishing you, I was positioning you. Every closed door preserved you for this appointed time. Every disappointment redirected you toward destiny. Every unanswered prayer became a seed that is now blooming into harvest. And now, the doors opening will not close. Because they are doors I have opened, and no man can shut. Listen closely. Beloved, I am not calling you to return to the familiar prisons of your past. The enemy will whisper, trying to lure you back into old fears, old compromises, old patterns. But remember, Egypt is behind you, not before you. You are not called to return to bondage. You are called to inherit promise. The wilderness was not wasted. It was preparation. The battles you faced were not punishments. They were training. And now the land I am leading you into flows with milk and honey. You will eat from vineyards you did not plant. You will reap from fields you did not labor. You will live in houses you did not build. For my inheritance is not earned by striving, it is received by covenant. Do not despise your scars. The world taught you to hide them, but I tell you they are evidence of survival. Every scar is a testimony of where my grace carried you. Others will see your scars and know that healing is possible. Your story will not only bring you freedom, it will unlock freedom for many. I have not wasted one tear. Every cry has been bottled. Every sigh has been recorded. And now, I am turning mourning into dancing, ashes into beauty, despair into praise. What once embarrassed you will become the very thing that draws others to my glory. This is the hour where your voice will rise again. You who once silenced yourself out of shame will now speak with clarity, authority, and compassion. Your words will pierce atmospheres because they are soaked in the oil of my spirit. When you speak, it will not echo noise, it will silence it. When you move, it will not blend into confusion, it will cut through it. This is the difference between striving and anointing. Striving struggles to be heard, but anointing cannot be ignored. And you, my child, are anointed. Lift your eyes. The fog is lifting. The heaviness is loosening. The shadows are retreating. This is the beauty of divine intervention. It not only changes circumstances, it transforms the soul. You are not the same as you were yesterday. The ground beneath you has shifted. The chains upon you have fallen, and the fire within you has been reignited. Walk in it. Breathe in it. Live in it. For you are not who they said you were. You are who I say you are, and I say you are free. My beloved, the days of merely surviving are over. I am calling you to thrive. I am calling you to step out from the shadows of hesitation and walk into the light of bold obedience. You have lingered long enough in the valley of waiting, wondering whether you are ready, questioning whether you are worthy. But hear me, worthiness was never yours to earn. It was always mine to give. Through the blood of my Son, you have been made clean, restored, and sealed with a covenant that cannot be undone. You are not entering this season as a beggar, but as an heir. You do not walk as one tolerated, but as one celebrated by the courts of heaven. Child, do not think small when I have called you to greater things. I have placed within you seeds of influence that will grow into trees of refuge for many. Your testimony will be a shelter. Your resilience will be a beacon. Your story will be a doorway for others to enter into hope. The adversary tried to bury you, but in truth he only planted you. And now you are sprouting forth with fruit that cannot be denied. What once seemed like defeat was the soil of destiny. What once appeared to end you was only the beginning of my multiplication. Did I not promise that unless a seed falls into the ground and dies, it remains alone, but when it dies, it bears much fruit? And so shall it be with you. Do not be afraid of opposition. The increase I am releasing will draw attention, and not all of it will be kind. But remember, no weapon formed against you shall prosper. It may form, but it will fail. It may rise, but it will crumble. The plots spoken in darkness will be exposed in light. The whispers of slander will evaporate in the heat of my truth. I am your defender, your advocate, your shield. While others see only the battle, I see the victory already secured. Do not spend your energy trying to justify yourself before men. Let me justify you. I have already declared you righteous. I have already set my seal upon you. That is enough. My hand is not only upon you for blessing, it is upon you for sending. This is not the time to hide your light under a basket. The world groans in darkness, searching for a flicker of hope. And I have chosen you to carry that flame. Wherever you go, you will disrupt atmospheres, in workplaces, in families, in communities. Your presence will shift the tone because my spirit rests upon you. You may not feel qualified, but remember that I delight in using vessels the world overlooks. Gideon felt weak, yet I called him a mighty warrior. David was a shepherd, yet I made him a king. Esther was hidden, yet I raised her to deliver a nation. Likewise, you may feel ordinary, but I have marked you for extraordinary. Do not despise the discipline I gave you in secret seasons. Those quiet years, when you felt unseen and uncelebrated, were not wasted. They were my training ground. I taught you endurance when you wanted shortcuts. I taught you faith when you longed for certainty. I taught you to lean on me when you had no one else to lean on. Now you understand what it means to walk by faith and not by sight. Those hidden lessons will now become your strength in public battles. The foundation laid in silence will sustain you in the noise of influence. Do not resent the process. Rejoice, for it has prepared you for the promise. My beloved, you are not alone in this assignment. I have aligned people to walk with you, kindred spirits, who will strengthen your hands and lift your arms when you grow weary. Do not reject help out of fear of disappointment. I am sending divine connections, not counterfeit ones. You will know them by the peace they carry, by the clarity their presence brings, by the way your spirit leaps when they speak. They are not coming to take from you, but to build with you. Together, you will accomplish what you could not achieve alone. For I have designed the body to move in unity, not isolation. Lift your eyes higher. Child, the horizon before you is wide. I am expanding your vision. The dreams you once dismissed as impossible are stirring again because I am breathing on them. Do not call impossible what I call inevitable. Do not label unreachable what I have already placed within your grasp. Walk as if the ground beneath your feet is holy, because it is. I go before you, and everywhere your foot treads, I have already prepared. This is not about striving for opportunities. It is about stepping into appointments already written in heaven's calendar. Trust my timing, for it is perfect. The atmosphere around you will testify to my presence. Doors will open with ease, not because you manipulated them, but because I turned the key. Hearts will soften not because you persuaded them, but because I whispered into their spirits. Mountains will move not because of your strength, but because of your faith. And when others ask how, you will simply say, "It was the Lord." Your testimony will not glorify your effort. It will glorify my intervention. You will be known not as the one who tried, but as the one who trusted, and trust will remain your greatest weapon. Do not fear the unknown. The path ahead is not fully revealed, but I am the lamp to your feet and the light to your path. You may see only the next step, but that step is enough. Walk it, and more will unfold. The enemy wants you paralyzed by uncertainty, but I am inviting you into adventure. Faith is not about having the map, it is about trusting the guide. And I am the guide who has never failed. I know the terrain. I know the dangers. I know the shortcuts. And I know the safe havens. Follow me, and you will arrive not only safely, but triumphantly. My child, this is not the end of your story. This is the unveiling of a new chapter. What once felt like conclusion is actually prologue. What once looked like ruins is the foundation for rebuilding. You are stepping into days that will redeem the years you thought were wasted. You are walking into fulfillment that will make sense of every tear. You are entering joy that will overshadow every sorrow. And when you look back, you will see that I was there all along, not distant, not silent, but weaving everything together for your good. Now arise, beloved, and walk boldly, for the time is now, and the kingdom is at hand. My beloved child, I am bringing you into a season of renewal, unlike any you have ever known. The weariness that clung to your spirit will begin to dissolve in the warmth of my presence. What once weighed you down will no longer have the authority to press you into despair, for I am breathing a fresh wind into your soul. A wind that carries healing. A wind that restores. A wind that empowers. You will not simply return to what you were before. You will emerge stronger, deeper, more anchored in who I am. The ashes of the past will not define you. Instead, they will become the soil out of which new beauty arises. I have spoken. Behold, I make all things new. And this word is now manifesting in your life. The refining fire you endured was never meant to destroy you. It was meant to purify you. The heat of trial revealed what was false and stripped away what was unnecessary. Yes, it hurt. Yes, it left scars. But those scars are not signs of weakness. They are signs of survival. They testify that though the flames tried to consume you, they failed. Because I was with you in the fire, just as I stood with Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego in the furnace. I stood with you. The smoke did not cling to them, and it will not cling to you. When people look at you, they will not see the damage, they will see the deliverance. They will not smell the smoke of destruction, they will smell the fragrance of redemption. You may wonder why I allowed such battles, why I permitted such darkness to press in. Hear me, child. It was not punishment, it was preparation. Every storm trained your hands for war. Every tear watered the ground for your harvest. Every delay positioned you for alignment with heaven's timing. You thought you were losing time, but in truth I was redeeming it. You thought you were wandering, but I was weaving. I was aligning moments, people, and circumstances so that when the appointed time came, nothing could stop what I had ordained. What the enemy meant for harm, I have already turned for good. Every broken piece is being arranged into a mosaic of my glory. Lift your head, for I am crowning you with fresh oil. The anointing upon your life is not stale. It is being renewed even now. And this oil will not only comfort you, it will commission you. It will flow from the top of your head to the soles of your feet, marking you as mine. Where others see limitations, I see potential. Where others see fragility, I see chosen vessels. The anointing will give you wisdom beyond your experience, courage beyond your nature, and endurance beyond your strength. You will step into rooms where you feel unqualified, but the oil will speak for you. You will stand before challenges that seem impossible, but the oil will empower you. For this is not by might, nor by power, but by my Spirit. You are not stepping into a season of mere survival, but of authority. I have trained you in the shadows so that you can carry light into the open. I have whispered to you in private so you can speak boldly in public. Do not be afraid of your voice. It has been refined for such a time as this. The enemy tried to silence you, but I preserved you. The silence you endured was not absence, it was gestation. A message was forming within you, a sound that will now be released to break chains. Every word you speak under the leading of my Spirit will carry weight. Every declaration of truth will pierce the atmosphere. You will not echo empty phrases. You will release living words that carry the authority of heaven. Child, remember, this identity precedes assignment. You are not defined by what you do, but by who you belong to. You are mine. Before you accomplish a single task, before you carry out a single mission, your value is already secure in me. This truth will anchor you when storms come. This truth will protect you from pride when success follows. You are my beloved, in whom I am well pleased. From that identity flows your authority. From that security flows your boldness. No longer will you chase validation from people who cannot comprehend your worth. No longer will you measure yourself against standards that I never set. You will walk free, because you know who you are in me. I am also aligning your inner life with your outer calling. No more will you feel divided, pulled in one direction by duty and in another by desire. I am uniting your heart, mind, and spirit under my will. The fragmentation you once carried where you acted strong but felt weak inside will be healed. Integrity will no longer feel like a burden. It will be your natural state. You will not need to pretend or perform. Who you are in secret will match who you are in public, and that authenticity will draw people more than any performance could. This wholeness will be your strength. For a divided heart cannot stand, but a whole heart rooted in me cannot be shaken. Do not think that your story ends with personal healing alone. What I pour into you will overflow to others. You are being restored not just for your sake, but for theirs. The same comfort I have given you, you will now give to many. The same light I shone into your darkness, you will carry into theirs. This is how my kingdom advances, not through polished perfection, but through broken vessels made whole. People will recognize themselves in your testimony, and they will realize that if I could do it for you, I can do it for them. Your scars will become signposts of hope. Your journey will become a roadmap for others who are still wandering. So rise, my beloved, shake off the residue of shame. Do not call yourself unworthy when I have called you chosen. Do not label yourself broken when I have declared you whole. Stand tall, not in arrogance, but in confidence born of my Spirit. The season of hiding is over. The season of unveiling is here. And as you step forward, know this: I go before you. I stand beside you, and I cover you from behind. You are never alone. You are my vessel, my instrument, my delight. And through you, I will release sounds of freedom, rivers of healing, and waves of transformation. This is your time. Walk in it, my child. As I have renewed your strength, I am now opening your vision. Where once you saw only obstacles, you will now perceive opportunities. Where you once measured yourself by what was visible, you will now discern what is eternal. I am giving you eyes to see beyond appearances, to recognize the movement of my spirit in places that others dismiss as barren. Do not trust what is merely seen, for appearances deceive. Trust what I reveal, for my revelation does not lie. The natural world says you are surrounded by lack, but the spiritual reality is that you are surrounded by supply. Just as I opened the servant's eyes in Elisha's day to see chariots of fire encamped on the hills, I am opening your eyes to see that you are never outnumbered, never abandoned, never alone. This expanded vision will not flatter your comfort, it will stretch your faith. You will see possibilities that scare you, doors that seem too wide, assignments that seem too heavy. But remember, I would never show you something I have not already equipped you to handle. I reveal in order to empower. I unveil in order to prepare. Do not shrink back, because what you see feels bigger than you. It is supposed to. If it were small enough for you to accomplish alone, it would not require me. What I am calling you into is intentionally larger than your capacity, so that you might lean fully on my strength and not your own. You will walk by faith, not by sight. Yet at the same time, your sight will be sharpened to align with faith. Vision, however, comes with responsibility. What you see, you must steward. What I reveal, you must not treat lightly. Do not bury revelation under fear or procrastination. The moment I open your eyes, I am inviting you into participation. Do not say, perhaps someone else is better suited. Do not delay under the weight of doubt. Rise and act in obedience. For obedience multiplies vision. As you respond to what you see, I will show you more. As you step into one open door, I will unlock the next. But if you freeze in fear, the vision will become clouded again. So be bold. Let courage, not hesitation, define your response. My child, I know you have been conditioned by disappointment. You have seen doors that look promising close in your face. You have endured cycles that taught you to brace yourself for loss. But this new vision is not a cruel illusion. It is an invitation into destiny. This time is different. The doors I open, no one can shut. The opportunities I place before you will remain, because I am the one sustaining them. You do not need to strive or manipulate to hold them open. You need only to walk through them in faith. What is from me cannot be stolen, delayed, or denied beyond my timing. Rest in this assurance: you are not chasing shadows, you are following light. There will be those who cannot see what you see, and they may mock or resist. Do not let their blindness make you doubt your sight. Not everyone is called to perceive what I have revealed to you. Some will only understand later. After you have walked it out, do not waste your energy trying to convince them. Your responsibility is not to make everyone agree with your vision, but to obey the one who gave it. Noah looked foolish until the rain fell. Joseph looked arrogant until the famine came. Esther looked unlikely until the decree threatened her people. You, too, may look misunderstood for a season, but in the fullness of time, my vision will prove true. Lift your eyes higher. Child, stop measuring yourself by what lies behind you, and start measuring by what lies ahead. The past is not your standard. My promise is. The pain is not your compass. My word is. Fix your gaze, not on what is temporary, but on what is eternal. I am calling you to walk with an eagle's perspective, soaring above the turbulence. Storms will rage below, but your vision will not be grounded in the storm. It will be anchored in the heavens. The higher you rise in me, the clearer you will see that the storm is temporary, but my purpose is eternal. You will discern the horizon, even while others are blinded by the rain. Do not underestimate the power of clarity. When your eyes are clear, your heart is steady. When your heart is steady, your steps are sure. Confusion has long sought to entangle you, but I am breaking its grip. Clarity is your inheritance. Confusion was never your portion. The fog that once lingered over your decisions is lifting. You will no longer feel paralyzed at the crossroads, wondering which path to take. My voice will guide you, and your vision will confirm it. Together, voice and vision will align, leading you into paths of righteousness for my name's sake. And child, understand this vision is not just about seeing the future, it is about seeing the present rightly. I am teaching you to discern the holy in the ordinary, the miraculous in the mundane. You will begin to notice my fingerprints where others see coincidence. You will recognize divine orchestration in moments that seem random. Nothing escapes my plan. Nothing is wasted. Even detours are divine if you see them through. My eyes, vision will not only prepare you for tomorrow, it will transform how you live today. Gratitude will flow more freely when you see that, even in small things. I am at work. Therefore, guard your vision. Do not let cynicism blur it. Do not let bitterness dim it. Do not let fear distort it. Keep your eyes fixed on me, the author and finisher of your faith. Just as Peter walked on water while his eyes were fixed on Jesus, so too will you walk in the miraculous when your gaze remains on me. The moment you look to the waves, you will begin to sink. But if you look to me, you will rise. So look again. My child, look beyond what hurts, beyond what scares you, beyond what feels impossible. Look into my eyes, and you will see possibility, I hope, and destiny staring back at you. Beloved child, as you continue to walk in the unfolding of my promises, you must understand that this season is not only about what you will receive, but also about who you are becoming in me. Every step of this journey has been designed to mold your heart, not just to deliver results. Too often, people measure their lives by outward success, by accomplishments, by recognition, or by possessions. But I, the Lord your God, measure by what has been formed within you. If your soul is aligned with my spirit, if your heart reflects my nature, then even in the eyes of the world you may appear to have little, yet in heaven you are rich. And if you gain the whole world but lose the transformation of your inner being, then you have missed the greater treasure. What I am doing in you is eternal, not temporary. What I am shaping within you will echo beyond the boundaries of time. You have wondered why your path has not been straight. You have asked me, why so many delays, why so many detours? Why not simply a direct way into fulfillment, my child? Listen, those detours have been classrooms of faith. They have been the sacred ground where you learned patience, where you discovered how to listen for my whisper amidst the noise of the world, where you came to rely not on your own strength but on my sustaining presence. Remember Israel in the wilderness. I could have led them into the promised land in a matter of days, but I chose a journey of 40 years so that they might learn to depend on me daily, to eat bread from heaven rather than boast in the work of their own hands. In the same way, I am teaching you to lean on me step by step, so that when you arrive at the fullness of what I have prepared, you will know beyond all doubt that it was not your effort, but my grace that brought you there. Do not let the voices around you discourage your heart. Many will not understand the vision I have entrusted to you. Some may laugh. Others may call it foolishness. And still others may try to persuade you to abandon it altogether. But remember this, the only voice that matters is mine. People judge by what they see, but I look at the heart. If I see faithfulness, if I see a heart surrendered, then I release fresh strength. My spirit will uphold you. You will be like a tree planted by streams of water, bearing fruit in season, whose leaves do not wither. What I have sown in you cannot be undone by human criticism. My child, hold firmly to my word, and you will outlast every storm of doubt. Do not allow delay to extinguish the fire of your faith. The enemy's strategy is to tire you, to make you feel that waiting is wasted time, to convince you that hope will always disappoint. But I say to you, hope anchored in me will never be in vain. Keep the flame alive. Feed it with my promises, with prayer, with worship, with gratitude. This flame is not only your own lifeline, but it is also a beacon for others who wander in darkness. Do you see, your perseverance is not just for you. Others are watching. Others are waiting. Others will learn from your endurance, from your courage, from your obedience. Through your testimony, many hearts will find the strength to continue. That is why I urge you, do not neglect prayer. Prayer is not an empty ritual. It is the breathing of your soul. When you pour out your words to me, I listen. When you cannot even speak, the silent groans of your heart rise before my throne. In prayer, you will find peace that surpasses all understanding. That peace will guard your mind from fear, from confusion, from despair. And prayer will not only transform your circumstances, but it will transform you, shaping you into one who can carry the weight of my blessings without being crushed by them. Alongside prayer, cultivate gratitude. Gratitude is the lens that will reveal my hand at work, even in the smallest details of your life. Each morning when you awaken, remember that the breath in your lungs is a gift. Each beat of your heart, each step you take, is a reminder that I am sustaining you. As you give thanks for the ordinary, you will begin to see the extraordinary. Gratitude unlocks the gates of joy, and joy becomes your strength. With a thankful heart, you will no longer feel deprived, but you will see abundance everywhere. Even before the breakthrough manifests, gratitude prepares the soil of your life for greater harvests yet to come. And my child, never forget my promises will never return void. They are sealed by my own name. Heaven and earth may pass away, but my word will remain. Do not be swayed by what your eyes see. Trust what my spirit has spoken. When you feel weary, come to me for new strength. When confusion surrounds you, I will be your counselor. When you fall, call on me, and I will lift you up. I am the God who keeps covenant to 1,000 generations. If I have begun a good work in you, I will be faithful to complete it. So rise with courage. Do not fear. Do not retreat. I go before you to prepare the way. I walk beside you to guide you. I come behind you to guard you. My hand surrounds you on every side. The mountains may seem high, but I will level them. The valleys may seem deep, but I will fill them. The doors may seem closed, but I will open them with the keys of heaven. You will know that I am the Lord, your faithful Father, who never changes and never abandons his own. Therefore, walk boldly into what I have set before you. Your story is not ending in defeat, it is unfolding into glory. What I have begun, I will bring to completion. What I have spoken, I will fulfill. What I have promised, he will deliver. Hold on, my child, for the dawn is nearer than you think. And when the light breaks forth, it will shine not only on you, but through you, as a testimony to my goodness for all to see. My beloved child, as you stand on the threshold of what I am about to release, I want you to know that this moment is holy. It is not a coincidence, not an accident, not a random intersection of circumstances. It is the fulfillment of an appointed time that has been written in my book since before you took your first breath. You may have felt as though your waiting has been endless, but in my eternal perspective, everything has been unfolding with precision. Every delay was calculated to align your heart with my purposes. Every unanswered prayer was not rejection, but redirection, guiding you closer to the fullness of my design. Now the season has shifted. What once felt hidden is being revealed. What once seemed impossible is becoming inevitable because my hand is upon it. Do not be afraid of the newness you are about to step into. I know the human heart clings to the familiar, even when the familiar has been painful. The wilderness became a strange comfort to Israel, so much so that when I opened the way to the promised land, some longed to go back to Egypt. But I am calling you forward, not backward. Do not romanticize the chains that once held you captive. Do not revisit the doors that only led to disappointment. Do not allow nostalgia to rob you of destiny. The new place I am leading you into carries provision you have never seen, opportunities you could not have manufactured, and victories you never imagined possible. The land I am giving you is flowing with milk and honey. It is not the wilderness of survival, but the territory of abundance in this place. However, you must learn to carry yourself differently. The wilderness taught you dependence, but the promise will teach you stewardship. In the wilderness, I gave manna daily. In the promise, I will give you fields to cultivate. In the wilderness, I gave water from the rock. In the promise, I will give you rivers to manage. In the wilderness, I fought battles for you. In the promise, I will train your hands for war so that you may partner with me in securing victory. This is not to burden you, but to mature you, because I am raising you into a son, a daughter, an heir, not merely a servant. You will not just survive under my care, you will reign with me under my authority. Yet, with abundance comes responsibility. Guard your heart from pride, for pride is the thief that turns blessing into curse. Remember that every gift comes from above, not from your own brilliance or effort. When you succeed, bend your knee in gratitude. When you prosper, lift your hands in worship. When you rise, remember the pit from which I rescued you. If you walk in humility, the higher I lift you. The deeper your roots will grow, but if you exalt yourself apart from me, the same heights will become your downfall. So remain anchored in me. Stay hidden in my presence. Let gratitude be your constant companion and worship your daily language. I also remind you, the enemy will not sit idle as you step into promise. He will whisper lies, sow doubt, and stir opposition. But do not fear, for I have already overcome. Greater is the Spirit within you than anything that comes against you. Do not engage the enemy on his terms. Stand firm in my word. Declare my promises out loud. For my word is sharper than any two-edged sword. Cover yourself daily in prayer. Put on the armor of God, the belt of truth, the breastplate of righteousness, the shield of faith, the helmet of salvation, and the sword of the Spirit. With these, you will not merely survive attacks, you will advance my kingdom in the very places the enemy thought he ruled. My child, do not walk this journey alone. I have prepared companions, mentors, and allies who will walk with you. I am sending people whose voices carry clarity, whose presence will remind you of your worth, whose prayers will shield you in times of weakness. Learn to discern who they are. For not every voice deserves your ear, and not every hand deserves your trust. Some will come to distract, some to deceive, but those I send will carry my presence. You will know them not by eloquence, but by authenticity, not by charisma, but by the fragrance of holiness upon them. Receive them as signs of my faithfulness. But remember, they are not your Savior. They are vessels, and I alone am the source. I am also calling you to be a light for others. The breakthrough you carry is not for you alone. As I pour into you, pour into others. As I heal you, extend healing to those who are broken. As I bless you, become a blessing to those in need. I am not raising reservoirs, I am raising rivers. Rivers flow, and as they flow, they bring life wherever they go. If you withhold, the water stagnates. If you release, the water multiplies. You are chosen not to hoard, but to channel my goodness into the world around you. Every act of generosity, every word of encouragement, every moment of compassion will ripple far beyond what you can see. And know this, you are not stepping into this season unprepared. Everything you endured has been training. Every tear watered seeds of compassion. Every battle sharpened your discernment. Every setback deepened your roots. Nothing was wasted. What felt like breaking was building. What felt like silence was strategy. What felt like abandonment was preparation for greater intimacy. I am the Redeemer, and I redeem not only your soul, but also your story. Even the chapters you wish you could erase, I will rewrite into testimonies of triumph. So, arise, lift your head, open your heart. The gates are opening before you. The path is clear. The heavens are leaning in. Angels are on assignment. The Spirit is stirring within you. You are not arriving late. You are arriving right on time. My timing is perfect, and you are standing in the fullness of it. Step forward with courage, for I am with you. The story I am writing in your life will reveal my glory in ways that generations after you will remember. My precious child, now that you have stepped into this dawning season, I must remind you that endurance is not just about surviving hardships, but about remaining faithful, when blessings flow. Many falter not in the wilderness but in the land of promise. When manna falls daily, the heart leans heavily upon me, but when barns overflow, the temptation is to forget the one who filled them. Guard your heart diligently, for abundance without remembrance becomes idolatry. Your worship must remain as fervent in prosperity as it was in poverty. When you feast, sing as passionately as you once prayed in hunger. When you flourish, bow as deeply as when you cried out in desperation. If you learn this rhythm, no season will uproot you, for your anchor will always be in me. Do not measure this new chapter only by external success. There will be victories and celebrations, but the true evidence of my Spirit in your life is transformation within. I am not merely opening doors, I am reshaping your heart. My work is not only to expand your influence, but to deepen your intimacy with me. Others may applaud your progress, but I will rejoice when your character reflects my Son. Do not chase applause, chase holiness. Do not strive for recognition, strive for obedience. The highest reward is not platforms or possessions, but my presence. For what would it profit you to gain the world and lose your soul, yet if you abide in me? Every blessing will become a tool, every success an offering, every moment an altar where heaven touches earth. And remember, I am not only doing this for you, but through you. The healing you carry is for nations. The testimony I am crafting in your life will ripple outward in ways beyond your imagination. Your obedience is the seed of someone else's deliverance. Your courage will unlock another's faith. Your resilience will inspire generations not yet born. When Abraham obeyed, the nations were blessed. When Esther stood, a people were saved. When Paul persevered, the gospel spread to the ends of the earth. So it will be with you. Your yes to me is not small, it is generational. Do not underestimate the weight of your obedience. Heaven measures in ripples, not moments. But I do not leave you unguarded as you carry this mantle. I have already surrounded you with angelic protection, though unseen. Their presence is real. They minister in your weakness, war in your battles, and shield you in unseen dangers. When you walk into rooms, know that you do not walk in alone. When you face opposition, understand that the armies of heaven stand at your side. Do not fear the size of what opposes you. Fear not at all, for I am greater. One word from my throne dismantles kingdoms. One breath of my spirit scatters principalities. One act of my will shakes the foundations of the earth. So why do you tremble at shadows when you are aligned with the light? Lift your eyes and remember the Lord of hosts is with you. The God of Jacob is your fortress. Yet I also call you to vigilance. The enemy cannot steal what I have sealed, but he will try to distract and discourage. His weapons are subtle weariness that tempts you to quit, compromise that lures you with shortcuts, bitterness that poisons the well of your soul. Do not yield to these. Stay awake in prayer. Stay rooted in Scripture. Stay connected to the community I place around you. A lone ember grows cold, but a fire surrounded by others burns brightly. Do not isolate yourself in pride or fear. Let others speak life into you, and you speak life into them. Together, you will withstand storms that would have crushed you alone. And child, do not despise the discipline of this season. Just as a gardener prunes even fruitful branches to ensure greater harvest, so I prune you not to harm, but to multiply. If I remove something, it is because I am making space for more. If I close a door, it is because I am opening a better one. If I allow tension, it is because I am strengthening your roots. The Father disciplines those he loves. Accept it not as punishment but as preparation. You are being refined, polished, and perfected so that you may shine with greater brilliance. The fire is not for your destruction but for your distinction. Lift your eyes, beloved, and see what I am setting before you. The nations are opening. The gates are widening. The harvest is ripe. What you once thought was only about your survival has now become about revival for others. Your tears watered seeds you could not see. Your prayers dug wells you did not know you would drink from. Your battles carved paths others will walk more easily. Nothing was wasted. Not a tear. Not a groan. Not a sigh. Heaven collected them all. And now the time of reaping has come. Therefore, walk boldly. Do not shrink back. Do not settle for partial victories when I have promised full deliverance. Do not camp in the valley when I have called you to the mountain. Keep moving. Keep trusting. Keep declaring my promises. The atmosphere is shifting in your favor. My word is running swiftly ahead of you. My spirit is stirring even now, unlocking hearts, breaking chains, and preparing places for you to step into. Every promise I have spoken will come to pass. For I am not a man that I should lie, nor a son of man that I should change. My covenant is everlasting, and my word stands firm forever. So rise, my child, take courage, step into the fullness I have ordained. The story is not ending, it is unfolding. The page is not closing, it is turning. The ink is fresh, and I am still writing. And what I write cannot be erased, cannot be overturned, cannot be silenced. Trust me, for you are living in the manifestation of prayers whispered long ago. The world will see not just your strength, but my glory revealed through you. My beloved child, as this message draws to its close, know that my work within you is far from finished. What you have walked through was not just preparation for a single season, but alignment for a lifetime of purpose. I am establishing something that will endure beyond you, stretching into generations yet unborn. What you surrender to me today becomes the inheritance of tomorrow. What you allow me to refine within you now becomes the strength of those who follow. You are part of a tapestry far greater than you can see, threads woven through history by my eternal hand. Trust that your story is not isolated. It is interlaced with my redemptive plan for the nations. I want you to carry this assurance. Nothing you endured was wasted. Not one trial. Not one night of tears. Not one cry that echoed in silence. I was in every detail. I saw every step. I collected every tear. I recorded every prayer. In moments when you thought heaven was still, I was moving pieces in realms unseen. In seasons when you felt abandoned, I was drawing you closer than ever, even in the silence. I was speaking, even in the stillness. I was working. What felt like delay was divine design. What felt like loss was hidden preparation. Now the unveiling has come, and you will see with your own eyes what I was crafting all along. But my child, I remind you again, this is not about comfort. It is about covenant. My covenant with you is unbreakable, sealed in the blood of my Son, guaranteed by the faithfulness of my Spirit. People may betray, systems may crumble, tout voice may lie, but my covenant endures forever. When storms shake the earth, when kingdoms rise and fall, When the world trembles with uncertainty, my word remains the same. Anchor yourself in this truth. Heaven and earth may pass away, but my words will never pass away. You can stand unshaken because I am unshaken. In this new season, you must walk with boldness, not arrogance, but confidence rooted in me. Lift your head high, not because of who you are, but because of whose you are. You are not defined by your wounds, but by my healing. You are not identified by your failures, but by my redemption. You are not limited by your weakness, but empowered by my strength. Do not let shame hold you hostage, for I have declared you free. Do not let fear paralyze you, for I have given you courage. Do not let doubt rob you, for I have sealed your future with my promises. Every step you take is covered by grace. Every breath you breathe is filled with purpose. Every word you speak carries eternal weight when spoken in my name. Prepare yourself, because the days ahead will not be ordinary. I am calling you into deeper waters, into territories you once thought unreachable. You will see miracles not because you chase them, but because you carry them. You will walk into places where darkness once reigned, and light will break forth simply because you arrived. You will speak words that are not your own, but mine, and they will pierce hearts, shatter chains, and awaken hope. You will lay hands on the broken, and healing will flow not because of your ability, but because of my anointing. You will carry answers to questions you never studied, solutions to problems you never anticipated, wisdom beyond your years, and clarity beyond your understanding. For my spirit will rest upon you, and where my spirit is, there is liberty. Do not think lightly of this mantle. It is not given to inflate pride, but to glorify my name. It is not bestowed for fame, but for faithfulness. Walk humbly with what I entrust to you. Let your strength always bend into surrender. Let your victories always bow into worship. Let your influence always point back to me. For if you exalt yourself, you will fall. But if you exalt me, I will lift you higher. The way up in my kingdom is always down, down in humility, down in service, down in obedience. Remember the Son who washed feet, the King who wore a crown of thorns, the Savior who bore a cross. Follow his steps, and you will never be led astray. And finally, my child, hear this: you are never alone. When the journey feels heavy, I am with you. When the path seems unclear, I am guiding you. When opposition rises, I am defending you. When your strength fails, I am carrying you. I will never leave you nor forsake you. Even in your darkest nights, my light will shine. Even in your fiercest battles, my peace will guard you. Even in your deepest follies, my hand will uphold you. You may not always see me, but you will always find traces of my presence. Look around, and you will notice in the kindness of a stranger, in the whisper of Scripture, in the melody of worship, in the still small voice within your spirit, I am there. So walk forward with joy, not the fleeting happiness of circumstance, but the unshakable joy of my spirit. Sing even when storms rage, for I am your song. Dance even when chains rattle, for I am your freedom. Rejoice even when the world trembles, for I am your salvation. The kingdom is advancing, and you are part of its unfolding. Lift your eyes to the hills, for your help comes from me, the maker of heaven and earth. Lift your heart in expectation, for the best is yet to come. Lift your hands in surrender, for in yielding you will conquer. This, my beloved, is the word I leave with you. Be strong, be courageous, be steadfast, be immovable, always abounding in the work of the Lord. For nothing you do in me will ever be in vain. The night is past, the dawn has broken, the harvest is here, and the King is coming. Walk in the fullness of this truth. For I, the Lord your God, go before you, walk beside you, and dwell within you forevermore. Thank you for listening to today's message. Make sure to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so that together we may receive the living word, build an unshakable faith, and walk in the boundless love of God. Amen.